Welcome to Devo, everybody! All right, first, before we start off with the announcements, I would like for all of us to say a great big thanks to Signal Mountain Church Christ because they brought the food. So thank you so much for that. All right. And
Alright, ladies and fellas, the haircut for this coming up is February 7th, a week before Valentine's Day. No, they're kids. It's kids edition of announcements. We need people to help us do a lot of things. We need people to donate stuff. We need people to help us with like acts. If you want to do an act, come to me or the other SDs and we'll tell you whether or not it's like goes with the theme, which the theme is like oldies Valentine's Day, so that'll be fun. Get your, brush up on your skills, and it'll be really fun. It's a way for us to say thanks to the people over at Central, so it's a lot of fun.
all right, $3 all-you-can-eat pancake dinner. Oh, I didn't even see it. All right, cute cat. February 9th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's a fundraiser to help the LSP mission trip group that's going to Japan. If you want to help or donate pancake mix, see Caleb. Yeah.
Also, oh my God. So Girls Retreat is not this weekend, but next weekend, the 30th and 31st. We're going to East Brenner Church of Christ, which is like 20 minutes away. And we have theme, which is what's your logo, which I kind of explained. It's like we're taking logos, like popular logos, and relating them to Bible themes. And so it's going to be really fun. Last year we had a lot of fun. It was the same place. And this year we have a cool surprise with an activity. So bring like slumber bags? What are they called? Sleeping bags. Sleeping bags.
Don't bring 2 slumber bags.
Jammies, snacks. Well, yeah, we'll have them in more depth talk about that if you're interested. We're passing around a sign-up sheet for those of you who keep forgetting that it's up here, which is cool. We all forget. So
if any guys are interested, we may be getting together and maybe having like a guys' night or something, while the girls are going. So you do like maybe a board game night or risk night. That's what we did last year. So if you're interested in anything like that, just let one of the student directors know or yeah. All right. Next slide. Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys. I mentioned this last week. This is something we really want to get started just because this can be really helpful to just building the community, building the family that we have here. So if you guys are interested in this, we're just going to be going out onto campus before the Devos, preferably a couple hours beforehand, and just going around and talking to people and just letting them know what we have going on here. Letting them know that we have the meal, the singing, the devotional, and just let them know that they have the family here that we'd love for them to be a part of if they just want to come by and even walk in the door and at least give us a chance. So if you guys are interested in that, just come see me after Devo. I'll put a reminder up on Facebook. Closer comes time to next week to do that. So yeah, just come see me.
Super Bowl party. It's going to be February 1st. So if y'all are interested, come watch the game with us. There's going to be chili, soup, and sandwiches. With the donation to support the Dominican Republic mission. So it's a great time to come and hang out, spend time with your church family here, and also donate to the Dominican Republic mission trip.
Also, we may or may not be watching the Super Bowl. But we'll watch it.
If you're not interested in football, still come out because we'll be hanging out and stuff. So.
Okay.
Calibre.
For AMA Day. You want to take over?
Yeah, thank you all for being with us on Okay, so the first meeting's coming up for AMA Day, AMA meeting 1. It's going to be January 25th. It's going to be here at 5 o'clock, so people who go to Martin Boyd will have like a chance to get back. And so that's going to happen. This is going to be the first of the 5 meetings that you need to be at to do the AMA Day. And then we will have a makeup day if you miss Sunday sometime in the future, probably Tuesday. So, yeah, that's that.
It's January 25th, Sunday, 5 p.m. here.
I don't know if you guys know, but this is kind of going to be a big deal, so you may want to be a part of it. Just saying.
What does that stand for?
Ask me about my faith day. We're going to go out onto the campus and it's Craig asked. We're going to go out onto the campus and
He thinks it should be called a map.
If it's ask me about my faith day, it should be AMAMF.
That's why it's mass.
Lily. You got it, Lily.
Okay, we will be going to the DR. There's a meeting after Devo. We will talk about kitties.
All right.
All right, you guys. Before we start our songs tonight,
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Dear Lord, thank you for the day you've given us to be together, the opportunity to worship your word together, learn more about you, and bring your word onto campus and into our lives. Lord, thank you for this meal that we're able to have, the people that support us, and for the lives that you've given us, the opportunities you've given us to make. Lord, please let us bring something to heart during the lessons we're about to hear, and to sing with everything that we have. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, first,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, see, you were going to call me. You completely forgot. All right, Signal Mountain Church of Christ this Saturday, if you're not doing anything, at 6:30. Chris, is that right? That's right. 6:30. They're doing a shoe modeling event. Like they've got the runway to model shoes. The youth minister there, Kendall Harrison, he's actually going to be, if I understand this correctly, he's actually going to be riding a unicycle modeling, is it women's high heels?
Could be.
So he's modeling shoes on a unicycle. So the whole deal about this is if you've got lightly used shoes that you want to donate, or socks, new socks, or just a cash monetary donation, because they've got a deal worked out with Walmart for $3, they can buy a brand new pair of shoes. And they're going to collect these shoes. The goal is to get 5,000 pair of shoes, and they're shipping them. They're taking them to Africa, which is pretty awesome. So that's something to do Saturday, and there's is there food there, I think? Pizza or something like that too. So lightly used shoes, a few bucks or whatever if you want to donate, or socks. 6:30, Signal Mountain Church of Christ this Saturday. If you need directions, come see me or Harrison Gibbs. He knows where it's at too. So, and the other thing, just a reminder, tomorrow night, pizza before class. And if you haven't been to our History of the Church class on Wednesday night over at Central, I invite you to come because we're learning lots of cool stuff.
Father God,
just for today, help me walk your narrow way. Help me stand when I might fall. Give me your strength to hear your call. May my steps be worship. May my thoughts be be worship, may my thoughts be praise, may my words bring honor to your name. Here I am, just for today. Live in me, have your way, for my desire. When this race is run, is to hear you say, well done. May my steps be worship, may my thoughts be praise, may my words bring honor to your name. May my steps be worship, may my thoughts be praise, may my words bring honor to your name. You are holy.
You are holy.
And you are mighty.
You are mighty.
And you are worthy.
And you are worthy.
Worthy of praise.
Worthy of praise.
I will follow.
I will follow.
I will listen.
I will listen.
I will love you.
I will love you.
All of my days.
All of my days.
And I will sing to and worship the King who is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. I will sing to and worship the King who is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. You're my Prince of Peace, and I will live my life for you. You are holy.
You are holy.
And you are mighty.
You are mighty.
And you are worthy.
And you are worthy.
Worthy of praise.
Worthy of praise.
I will follow.
I will follow.
I will listen.
I will listen.
I will love you.
And I will love you.
All of my days.
All of my days.
And I will sing to and worship the King who is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. I will sing to and worship the King who is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. You're my Prince of Peace, and I will live my life for you. I will sing to and worship the King who is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow down before him. I will sing to and worship the King who is worthy. I will love and adore him. I will bow
right, you guys. So tonight we are going to be doing things a little bit differently than we usually do. We thought that since we just got back from an amazing retreat, that we'd kind of do a little bit of an overview, just about what some of us guys thought was the highlights of the trip, some of the great lessons that were given to us, just that kind of thing. But before I start, I just want to say from everyone here, thank you to Miss Wanda for all of the cooking that she did. We all know that we love to eat and don't always make it easiest on you, but we love you. And also thank you to Central, because without them, that trip would not be possible. So just if you guys see anyone from Central on Sunday morning, or if they come around here, just be sure to tell them thank you. Because like I said, without them, that trip would not have happened. All right, so tonight I decided I wanted to talk about relationships. That was one of the lessons that we had the option to take while we were there. And as I was on the trip and looking around and just kind of like seeing how everybody was enjoying it and everything, I realized we have a lot of couples that are here at the CSC. So I want to start off by reading Proverbs 4:23. It says, "Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life." The heart's a sensitive thing. I'm sure pretty much everyone here knows that. And so that's kind of just what I wanted to start off with. Who here came into college and was like, nope, I am not getting a relationship. That is not what I want. I do not want to get married. Malachi? All right, well, Craig, keep your hand down. Relationships are a real thing for everyone, especially us in college. We get here, it's like, I'm going to get my degree, going to find my husband or wife, and I'm going to live a happy life after this. And that all sounds great and all, but with us being Christians, we have some things that we need to be careful of. We have some things that we need to look out for. And I thought that this was a great lesson that I wish I could remember the guy who gave the lesson. But he gave us 3 questions. Whenever you're thinking about getting into a relationship, or if you're in a relationship, he gave us 3 questions to think of. The first one is he or she good for me spiritually? If you're with somebody or thinking about being with somebody, are they going to help you grow in your faith? Being with somebody who isn't as spiritually mature as you, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because there's always that room to grow. But when there is someone who doesn't have the same faith as you do, that's going to bring you down. It's going to cause some issues. And the next one is, am I the one? As in, like, are you the one for them? Not necessarily they the one for you. Take the selfishness out of it and figure out if you're going to be spiritually strong enough to not only help that person grow, but stay strong yourself. And then the last one is, are we good for others spiritually? I'm a big believer that whenever you have a couple that is strong spiritually, individually and together, that's going to be nothing but good for not only them, but for everyone around them. I don't necessarily want to pick on people necessarily, but Cody and China, you guys all know them. They're both extremely spiritually minded. And they've been a great influence on me, I know. And I hope a lot of you guys as well. So just that kind of thing. And whenever you are in that relationship, another point that he made was trying to base your relationship off of Christ solely, putting God first, and trusting Scripture and the Christian friends that God has put in your life to help you and guide you through relationships. Because as nice as it would be to just be able to like have a relationship and have it just be you and that person, stuff happens. You need advice. You're not always going to have the answer. And so having those strong Christian friends who are going to be able to help you and have the same thoughts and ideas as you do on how things in a Christian relationship are supposed to go, that's huge. And the next point was, are you putting God first in your relationship? I know that's tough to do. You get caught up in things. You get caught up in school. You get caught up in your friends. You get caught up in work, whatever it may be. And sometimes God can slip to the back of your mind, especially when you're with somebody and you're like, man, I love you. I just want to spend all my time with you. Just not worry about anything else. But that's not how it needs to be. It's extremely important to put God first in your relationship and both be spiritually minded on that. Be focused on that. And that's going to create that strong bond that's going to last. The next point is I'm going to read Colossians 5:24. It says, and those who are Christ have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. That goes right along with being spiritually minded in your relationship, no matter what aspect it is. Whenever we follow Christ, whenever we devote ourselves to Him, we give up the flesh. So the fleshly desires, the lusting, just all that comes with a relationship, we give that up. And that's just another reason why being spiritually minded from both of you is so important. Because I have been there whenever I was in high school where one of you is spiritually minded and the other one's not. It takes you down a road that you do not want to be on. So that I just can't stress how important that is to both be on that same page. Next, 2 Corinthians 4, verse 3. While we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. As nice as it is to be being like, oh yeah, my girlfriend's hot. That's not what's important at all. It's kind of creepy, exactly. But nobody, like, that is not what is important at all. The looks are going to fade, no matter how much we don't want them to. Guys, if you're jacked, you're going to get old, and your skin's going to start getting a little saggy, and that muscle's just not going to be there anymore. Ladies, the same thing's going to happen. Come on. We don't like to hear it, but it's true. We need to be focused on the spiritual aspects of things, the deeper relationships that we have, and basing a relationship off Christ is what's going to make that happen. That's what's going to make that relationship last. That is all that I had for tonight. So what we're going to be doing for the rest of the night is we're going to sing a song here in a second, and then I believe it's Trevor's going to come up, and he's going to say something that he took from the trip this weekend, and we're just going to kind of keep rotating through that tonight. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. I know the Lord liveth, and must be the rock. Let the God of my salvation be exalted. The Lord liveth, and blessed be the rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. Jesus Christ died for me, Jesus Christ died for me, and He took away my sins. I will live with Him for eternity. I know the Lord liveth, and blessed be the rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. Lord liveth, and blessed be the rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. I know the Lord liveth, and blessed be
be exalted. And blessed be the rock, let the God of my salvation be exalted. I know the Lord liveth, and blessed be the rock, let the God of my salvation be exalted. I will call on the Lord.
Okay, so overall it was a great weekend for fellowship and worship. Like, we all got to hang out and stuff. The worship was really good too. I say I kind of got a little distracted though in worship. Before I talk about this though, I want to admit I'm not perfect by any means. Okay, so and usually whenever I do a lesson about something, it's because I need to do the research about it, and I need to learn about it as well. So I'm probably taking just as much, if not more, from this as anybody else. But there was this guy, and in the middle of the worship, he was dancing, like not just like this or anything. Like, he was dancing. Like, I'm talking, like sensual. No, okay, I'm just kidding. Not that bad. But he was like getting it and stuff, and like I was trying to sing, and I couldn't stop watching him. And yeah, I can't dance. It's okay. And so I just got to thinking, and like, it's not our place to judge, okay? So I was trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, because I know that you can worship God and you can show God your love in many different ways, okay? So I was like, okay, just he just must have really been feeling it or something. And so we sit down, and I can still see the guy, and I see him on his phone. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, it's maybe he's got a Bible on his phone, like this generation and everything. Then, I see the little blue at the top, and, I see him scrolling, and I'm like, that's definitely Facebook. And so I got to thinking, I was like, what is this? Like, is this a concert? Is it like is it for our entertainment? Is it for us to get entertainment from it? Or is it to worship God? And I came to the conclusion that it's to worship God, and it's to give God praise. It's not for us to get entertainment. That's not to say that we can't enjoy it, because actually, to the contrary, I think that we are supposed to enjoy it. I think that we are supposed to enjoy worshiping and praising God. But there's a difference between enjoying it because God is almighty and we know that he deserves our praise and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And there's a difference between enjoying it because of that and enjoying it because we get to dance or, we get a show. So I got thinking about that, and why do we do other things that we do? I think that sometimes we get caught up in what we want to do and what's fun, and we don't realize, we don't ask ourselves, what is that doing for the kingdom? What's the purpose of this? And I think that that's kind of how, bad traditions get started. Like, people just start doing things because they want to. They don't think about it. They don't think about, like maybe what God thinks about it, or they don't focus on where the focus should be. And I think at that point we start lying to ourselves, and we start saying no. Like this is okay because because we've just been doing this. Like, this is okay because we lie to ourselves and we tell ourselves that it's okay. And I was gonna do it over like fake Christians, but I think that the lesson I was gonna do it over just like being a fake Christian. But I think that a Christian who lies to themselves and convinces themselves that something that they're doing wrong is actually right, I think that can be a lot more dangerous than just a Christian who just shows up to church and then, that's it. Because a Christian who will lie to themselves and convince themselves that they're doing right when they're actually doing wrong, not only are they doing that, but they are going to be convinced that they're right. And then they're going to go and preach that. So I'm going to turn to James 1, 22. I'm just going to read a few verses. So James 1, or chapter 1, verse 22, it says, "Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like a man who looks at his face in the mirror, and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. But the man who looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues to do this, not forgetting what he has heard, but doing it, he will be blessed in what he does. If anyone considers himself religious and yet does not keep a tight rein on his tongue, he deceives himself, and his religion is worthless." Like I said, guys, whenever I teach something, it's because it's something that I need to do better on, something that I need to improve on. So I'm thinking that maybe some of you guys are maybe struggling with the same thing, and it's like I said, when a Christian begins lying to himself, a lot of souls can be condemned. So I think that as a Christian, we are supposed to challenge ourselves daily. That's why we're supposed to read the Bible, to make sure that what we're doing is right, to make sure that we are teaching and doing the right stuff so that we don't condemn anybody. That's a lot of pressure. I wouldn't want to mess that up. So I want to challenge you guys to challenge yourselves. Make sure that you're doing it correctly each and every day, because you could be doing something for 20 years and then look at something and realize, oh my goodness, everybody that I've been teaching something wrong, all because I didn't go back and correct it, or I didn't look at it, or I didn't read about it or study about it, 20 years ago. So this is serious stuff, and that's one thing that I pulled from this weekend, and I hope that you guys can learn something from it too. So we're going to sing another song, and next up is Caleb.
Blessed be your name, in land that is plentiful, where streams of abundance flow. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name, when I found in the desert place, though I walk in the wilderness. Blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be your name, when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name, on the road marked with suffering, there's pain in the offering. Blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name.
Just seems so overwhelming. Sometimes you feel like not even being the light. You're looking around you to this darkness, and you just, you think this is impossible. How can I light all this darkness when there's just all of it all around me? But then, sometimes out in the distance, you see, there's that other little light out there. Like, yeah, maybe this isn't so bad. Like, here I am in all this darkness, and I'm being this light. But there's another guy out there, and he's being the light too. And like, maybe this whole thing's going to be okay. And that's kind of how I felt like with the UCSC. Like, there's another campus ministry out there who's just like us. And, they're out there and they're trying to do the same thing we are. They're trying to reach out to their campus and bring people to Christ. And that last verse, therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you also are doing. I don't think you realized it, and I don't think they realized it, but they were encouraging me, and so were you. It was just encouraging to be there with everybody, just singing and worshiping and knowing that all of us were looking up at the same stars and we're looking at the same beach with the same marvel, thinking that our God created all of this. One last thing, Hebrews 10:23-25. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, not forsaking our own assembling together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. So this is normally that verse there. People are like, yeah. So that means you've got to go to church. But, I mean, it is important to assemble together, but I think we miss the last part of that verse. You know, you always hear people, don't forsake the assembling of their saints. Don't forsake the assembling of the saints. But, like, what is happening when the saints are assembling? But encouraging one another. That encouragement happens when we get together. And so I'm glad that we were able to do that with the UCSC. I hope that we got to do that more often. And even like I say UCSC, but we were all kind of standing around out there. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there were people from other campus ministries at the conference. And they'd like walk by and they'd see us and they'd stop and sing with us for a little bit. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so that is really encouraging. And another thing that's encouraging is just like how many people went on the trip with us, and not even like the conference was good and all that was good, but just being able to like be with you guys and like hang out on the beach. That was so much fun. And like, I know there were some of you who are like, I'm not sure if I really want to go. And let me tell you, it's great that you guys came. And I know there were some of you even who are like, you know, I need to go home early and study and this stuff, but it makes me feel so great that you guys stayed with us that whole time. And that's fantastic. And I wanted to let all of you know what an encouragement that was to me. And I'm sure it was an encouragement to some of you other guys out there as well. And also, I just want to say for the record, we all get to the beach and we're all standing on the beach. And so we show up and there's the UCSC. We're like, hey, it's the UCSC. And the first thing they say is, where's Shelton? And you're like, oh, he didn't come this year, but he sends his love. So Shelton, they send their love, buddy. And that's what I've got for tonight.
Unto thee, O Lord,
unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Do I lift up my soul. Unto thee, O Lord, unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Do I lift up my soul. Oh my God, oh my God, I trust in thee. I trust in thee. So let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Yea, let none that way. Yea, let none that way. On me be ashamed. On me be ashamed. Yea, let none that way. Yea, let none that way. On me be ashamed. On me be ashamed. Oh my God. Oh my God. I trust in thee. I trust in thee. So let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Remember not. Remember not. The sins of my youth. The sins of my youth. Remember not. Remember not. The sins of my youth. The sins of my youth. Oh my God. Oh my God. I trust in thee. I trust in thee. So let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me.
Okay, so it's my turn. And I want to say, yes, we know that we're all going to touch this today. And if I were a betting person, I bet Cody's going to move it too. Also, Caleb, or let's see here, Alex went for a solid 9 minutes. Trevor went for 7, and Caleb just barely hit 5. So if I got to follow that trend, I'm going to go for 3. 3 lessons in 3 minutes. Okay, I really can't. But I do have, I think it's fitting that I'm last because it doesn't give me dirt time, and so I can actually get on this really quickly because I have 3 things that I took from because I think a prolific amount of notes during the trip, so that was good. And it helps me to like bring back some things because sometimes I think way too quickly and then I forget what I was thinking 10 seconds earlier than that. So the first one that I want to bring to you guys is hashtag Moses, :control, because hashtags or £sign for Malachi is everywhere on the thing. They're like hashtags all over the survey and all over the things. So each one of the things got a little hashtag. And this story comes from Exodus chapter 13, verses 13 through 23. Like I said, I'm going to go fast. The next day, Moses sat to judge the people. The people stood around Moses from morning till evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone and all the people stand around you from morning till evening?" And Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a dispute, they come to me, and I decide between one person and another, and I make them know the statutes of God and his laws." Moses' father-in-law said to him, "What you are doing is not good. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it alone. Now obey my voice. I will give you advice, and God be with you. You shall represent the people before God and bring their cases to God. And you shall warn them about the statutes and the laws and make them known the way in which they must walk and what they must do. Moreover, look for able men from all the people, men who fear God, who are trustworthy and hate a bribe. Place such men over the people as chiefs of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and tens. And let them judge the people at all times. Every great matter they shall bring to you, but any small matter they shall decide themselves. So it will be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. If you do this, God will direct you. You will be able to endure, and all the people will also go to their place in peace." So the point here is, I can't really give a background on Moses, but you guys generally know Moses, and if you don't, you can ask later about Moses here. And so Moses here gets advice from his father-in-law Jethro to stop trying to do everything all alone. He's like directly talking to God. He's trying to take the people on his own back, and Jethro says, "You're going to wear yourself out. You cannot do this alone." So he gives him godly advice. He tells him to pick people, put them over the small matters, and then only take care of like the really big things so that you don't wear yourself out on every little detail. So remember that. And then in Numbers chapter 11, verse 10 through 15. Moses heard the people weeping throughout their clans, everyone at the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord hotly blazed, as Moses was displeased. Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you dealt ill with your servant? And why have I not found favor in your sight, that you laid the burden of this people on me? Did I conceive all this people? Did I give the birth, that you should carry them to me? That you should say to me, carry them in your bosom, as a nurse carries a nursing child, to the land that you swore to give their fathers? Where am I to get meat to give all the people? For they weep before me and say, give us meat that we may eat. I am not able to carry all this people alone. The burden is too heavy for me. If you will treat me like this, kill me at once, if I found favor in your sight, that I might not see my wretchedness." So he's fallen back. He set people above him, and then he goes back on it, and he's like, "I'm trying to do this all alone again, and it's so hard, God, you may as well just kill me, because I can't do this alone." Verse 16, "Then the Lord said to Moses, gather for me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting, and let them take their stand with you. And I will come down and talk with you there, and I will take some of the Spirit that is on you, and put it on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you may not bear it yourself alone." So God gives this advice again to Moses. Don't do it alone. Get people to help you, and you're going to be able to make it. And I think we can relate that to our own lives, where we try to take everything under control. We see all the things that need to be doing, the little things, the big things. We try to do them all, and we wear ourselves out, and we get tired. And we're like, what's the point of this? Because we just keep wearing ourselves out. Why? Because we're trying to do everything alone. We're not giving it to God. We're not asking our friends for help. We're trying to take everything on just us. Here's one in the New Testament that you guys might have heard before, Galatians 6, chapters 1 through 6. The first time I heard these, it was in, well, the one of the recent times I heard this was in small group, and we kind of had like, oh, what does that mean? Here it is. "Brothers, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself, lest you too be tempted. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if anyone thinks he is something, when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let each one test his own work, and then his reason to boast will be in himself, alone, and not in his neighbor. For each will have to bear his own load." So you're like, okay, bear one of his burdens? Okay. And then the next one, okay, boast in yourself. And the next one, bear your own load. And you're like, well, he just said bear one of his burdens. And then he says bear your own load. Okay. And as much as I think Craig is a derp, and we all know Craig is a derp, and we love him, and he's actually really good at some of these things, so I asked him, like, Craig, we kind of went through some of this in small group. What do you think on it? And so he gave me like this whole 6-verse commentary, and I'm like, Craig, you've only got 5 minutes. I don't think this is going to work out. But in short, it calls us to help each other out spiritually. When someone's weak, we're supposed to help them and not think, oh, I'm better than them because I'm not struggling with this. Because the very next day, we could be the one that's struggling with it. So we're asked to help each other, not because we're better, but because like we're right there standing with each other. But the next verse goes on to talk about how we do have our own responsibilities to take care of, that we shouldn't forsake those responsibilities. We still have to take care of ourselves, because in the end, you will have to like go before God and talk about like all the things you did in your life. The next verse, let the one who has taught the word share all the good things with the one who teaches. And so it goes on to say, with the person that's corrected needs to stand up later on and even teach more people. And so in that way, we're like growing together as a church. So that's hashtag Moses. I think I could fit in at least one more, so I'm going to go to hashtag Babel. The lesson on this one was plans and decision making, and so I changed it because it was not plans and decision making. Props to them for what they did, but this is more of what I got from it. Hashtag Babel. What are you building, and what are you building it for? So it's in Genesis chapter 11, all the way back up there, verses 1 through 9. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words, and as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, come, let's make bricks and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and bitumen for mortar. Then they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the earth. Remember that part. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, behold, they are one people, and they all have one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord dispersed them over the face of all the earth. So you're reading the story, and all the people on the earth at this point, because this is right after Noah, so like they're all together. This is everyone that's left. They got one language, and they're all like related to each other. And they tried building this tower in the city, and God comes down and is like, wow, that's a cool city. I'm going to wreck it. That's not really what he does. Okay? It seems that way. He goes down there and he's like, cool stuff. You guys are doing great. I'm going to wreck your city. That's not what it's trying to get across. Think of the purpose of why they're building the city and why they're building this tower. Okay? They literally said, let's see here. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the earth. And what does God do? He comes down and disperses them. The exact same thing that they were trying to prevent. Why? Because they were building the tower for their own glory, not for God's. The whole thing of the event we went to it was hashtag selfiness, but it's selflessness. I know, it's selflessness. Don't worry about the other thing. And he doesn't ask for huge monuments. God only asks for ourselves and our hearts, to put our own selves aside and to put his glory above everything else. Isaiah 29, verses 15 through 16. All you hide deep from the Lord your counsel, whose deeds are in darkness, and who say, who sees us, who knows us? You turn things upside down. Shall the potter be regarded as a clay? If the thing made should say of its maker, he did not make me, or the thing formed say of him who formed it, he has no understanding. So it's saying, okay, let's go back to this idea that God is the creator and we're the creature. And here, people are saying, the people that are the clay are saying, God didn't make me. God doesn't understand who I am. But we forget that like he made us, and compared to him, we're like this little speck, we're a vapor. James calls us a vapor. And so we shouldn't forget how great God is and what our place in the world really is. Haggai 1:6, and we talked a lot about Haggai And if it were my choice, I would have done a lot more in Haggai, but I'm already being like super long-winded. That's okay. All of us put together have not like gone any longer than Walter has. That's okay. He literally sat up here one time and like took a solid 40 minutes after he told us like 20.
He's listening right now.
That's okay. I know you're listening. He'll get this in like 10 seconds when it actually hits him. Okay. So it's got a 10-second like delay. Not because he's slow. He's a good guy.
Finding out now.
Haggai 1:6. You have sown much and harvested little. You eat, but you never have enough. You drink, but you never have your fill. You clothe yourselves, but no one is warm. And he who earns wages does so to put them into a bag with holes. They're not getting anywhere. Working selfishly gets you nowhere. Joshua 24, this is my last one, I promise. Joshua 24, 14 through 15. Where is it? 24, 14 to 15. Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and faithfulness. Put away the gods that your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt, and serve the Lord. And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's Joseph's taking like the stand. That's Joseph going what Esther said. I'm going to go before this day, even though everyone else doesn't like it. If I die, I die. That's what Esther says in the end, when she's got to make a big decision. And here's Joshua standing up for what's right. He's like, as for me and everyone under my control, we're going to serve the Lord. So I know that was super quick. I just want to say we get so many opportunities. They're just kind of thrown on us. And we're like, man, I don't really have a lot of experience to make these decisions. But if we call on God, he's going to be there for us. And if we choose every day to take up our cross and serve him, then all worked out.
So you may have noticed this one needs to be sung just somewhat fast. So we're going to sing a little fast. Restore my spirit, Lord, I need restore. My heart is weary, please help me, dear Lord. I stand in need of more strength from your word. Renew my love, rebuild my faith, oh, restore my soul. Renew my courage, Lord, it needs restored. My cup is empty, refill it, dear Lord. Replace all doubts and fears with faith so bold. Renew my love, rebuild my faith, oh, restore my soul. Renew the fire, Lord, deep in my soul. Stir my desire to work in your fold. Replace all doubts and fears with faith so bold. Renew my love, rebuild my faith, oh, restore my soul. Restore my spirit, Lord, I need restored. My heart is weary, please help me, dear Lord. I stand in need of more strength from your word. Renew my love, rebuild my faith, oh, restore my soul. Renew my courage, Lord, it needs restored. My cup is empty, refill it, dear Lord. Replace all doubts and fears with faith so bold. Renew my love, rebuild my faith, oh, restore my soul. Renew the fire, Lord, deep in my soul. Stir my desire to work in your fold. Replace all doubts and fears with faith so bold. Renew my love, rebuild my faith, oh, restore my soul.
Again? Can we turn on another light? I don't like it being dark. All lights are out. Perfect. Well, as Clark said,
I'm not sure what Clark said there at the beginning. I was really wondering. I just got out of class. Who has a night class this semester? Boo, right? Yeah. Teacher wants to go the whole time. Who does this? So I was really thankful for the guys being long-winded tonight, because now I get a chance to talk. But promise I'm not going to be long-winded. Who all went this weekend to Florida? Raise your hand. Jonathan? Yeah. Did y'all try to escape Tennessee to get warmer weather?
Yes.
It didn't really work out, did it? No, because we had pretty warm weather here. So, joke's on y'all. Who here has ever been to EU, Evangelism University? Raise your hand high. Yeah? Okay. Shelton over there has. Shelton has. EU is a youth conference, mainly for ninth graders and up. It's kind of like a leadership conference. It teaches young people how to evangelize the Word of God to their friends, their family, anybody they come in contact with. And the cool thing is now they have an EU2, which is for us. So maybe we can work that out next year. It's like a college EU, so we get refreshed on how to evangelize. So I'm just going to give a quick little lesson that one of the keynote speakers did. I promise it's not keynote link. I've crammed it down. But the whole theme around EU this year was the vine. We were stationed in John chapter 15, verse 1. It talks about what the vine is, how we as Christians are part of the vine as the branches, and it just kind of elaborated off that. So it was Saturday night, Jeremy Hall gave a talk about how we grow as the vine. So I'm going to give you all 3 things about what it looks like to grow. Number 1, stop reading the Bible. Number 2, stop talking to God. And number 3, stop going to church. All right, pretty simple. All right, we got closing song? Yeah, y'all's faces were like, what did you just say? Can he say that? No. Number 1, stop reading the Bible. Who goes over to campus? Who pays all that money to go over to campus and just read a textbook, test out the class, and we're done? We forget it all, right? Is that what y'all are doing? Yeah, you're like, yeah, Cody, that's what I do. Is that not what you're doing? No, we're supposed to. Those that aren't, I just got out of all my undergrad or all my gen ed, so it's a little bit more fun for those who aren't there yet. But we're supposed to actually read and understand what we're reading. Malachi, quit shaking your head. While you're still in school. Shots fired, I know. Just kidding. Just kidding. Not funny. Shelton's playing for the same thing. Yeah, we're not just reading our textbooks and like studying all this time just to be like, hey, I went to college. Hey, I got a sheet of paper. Real cool, right? No, we need to use what we're reading, right? It's the same thing with the Bible. You know, if you just read through it and don't understand any of it, how are you going to apply it, right? So use the Bible. Let's read the Bible. Let's not read it, but let's use it and understand it. Number 2, stop talking to God. What? Has anybody ever heard that? Stop talking to God? Because he said that, and I looked at John. I was like, did he just say that? Like, we brought our kids here to learn about Jesus and evangelize. He just said, quit talking to God. No. Let's communicate with him. How many people here have a best friend? Yeah. I hope I'll be your best friend if you don't. All righty. A lot of shots fired tonight. How many of you go to your best friend every day? I don't wake up every morning and say to Alex, good morning, Alex. How are you this morning? And then next day, good morning, Alex. How are you this morning? And then keep asking him, hey, how was your day? How was work last night? I don't ask him the same questions over and over and talk about the same subjects. Like his 18th birthday, that was like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I don't know. 2 years. Y'all get the point? You don't say the same thing, right? You just fill in the blank. You don't say the same thing to your friend every single day, or A, it'll get boring, B, your friend be like, what is wrong with you? Or C, you would not have any friends, right? All right, so let's be real. So communicate with God. Recognize the importance that you have with God, how valuable that communication line you have with God is. And don't take it for granted. Let's use it. Let's actually communicate with God and not, ray of recollection, bless those that are sick and poor. You all know we'll throw another shot out there. The same person at your church that prays the same exact prayer every single morning, right? Yeah. You don't have to shake your head because I know there's one in every church because there's 5 back at Willow. So it's not an obligation to pray. We're not forced to pray. It's a gift that we're given from God. And it's something that we can, if you're having a bad day, like last night, I got some bad news. And, the only thing I could really do was pray about it and cast all my worries on God. If you look in 1 Peter chapter 5, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7 says, casting all your care upon the Lord. He's there. That is what that communication lifeline or that communication line is for. If you have your Bibles, turn to Philippians chapter 4, and I'm going to read verse 6 through 7. Chapter 4, verse 6 says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind through Jesus Christ. So, we're told how important it is, how much it can help us, and how much God enjoys hearing from us and communicating with us. Number 3, quit going to church. Right? Quit going to church. It's that simple. Start being the church, guys. Everybody's heard the little, I can't think of the word, analogy of don't just go to church and check off your little checklist, right? Or don't go punch your card into church. Does anybody's church have a time clock? No hands there. No time clock, guys. We're not going in there to just punch our time, right? We're going in there, to do what? Learn about God, be in his, I can't even talk tonight. Be in his surrounding, be there to worship him. And number 2, to evangelize with our fellow Christians, right? And to be with one another, like, was it Clark or Caleb? When y'all said being together with other Christians? Oh boy, Caleb. See how we worked and we didn't even talk to each other. Being with each other and being in the church. So start being the church. And another thing, how church is not a job, it's also not a hobby. It's not something that we go play on Sunday morning and, we're there for an hour or 2 and then we're gone. And we're not there maybe till next Sunday, right? It's not a hobby that we just pick up every now and then. It's not a little sport or a little craft or anything like that. It is supposed to be a way of life and a way that we carry ourselves so that other people around us, like the people out on campus and your friends back at home and your family back at home, and each of us can see within one another that who we're living for and who we devote our life to. And guys, let's be honest. Sometimes we can get a little bored with God, right? Who's ever been, think to yourself, you don't have to raise your hand, but who has ever been like in a rut, like in maybe like a spiritual low basin? Valley basin. Low valley. I'm pulling words out of nowhere. In a low valley where you just seem like you just don't want to grow or you don't want to do anything for God. There was a class at EU that when you're on the verge of giving up, guys, God, the will of God is energizing. It's supposed to make us want to live for God, make us want to learn more about his word and do his will. It's not a job. It's not a hobby. It's not something that we're obligated to do or that we're forced to do or even paid to do. We had a price that was paid for us, and that to me is energizing. And yeah, sometimes I don't seem like it is, but it needs to be, and that needs to be something that we always think about, that God sent his own son to die for us, and that should be energizing. I want to leave you with this. On your spiritual journey, who here, Who here has ever tried to grow in something? If it's physical, mental, school, spiritually, anybody try to grow in any way, right? Okay, I like to work out a lot. Y'all probably know that. Most of y'all know I had surgery over Christmas, right? If I'm having surgery, am I doing anything? I had no surgery, so I had to sit around, right? Was I doing anything? No, right? I was sitting still. You think I was getting stronger or weaker or stayed the same? Who thinks I was getting stronger? Thanks, guys. I was looking a little bigger after that. Who thinks I was staying the same? Like, I was just constant. I was sitting on the couch playing Xbox. Nobody? Who thinks I was losing ground? Y'all most heard me whining when I got back. I lost 15 pounds. I went down far, right? It's the same thing with your spiritual life, guys. If we are sitting still, if we are sitting constant and not growing and not pushing and learning every single day, then we are constantly going down and further away from God and towards the devil. And I really think that's what the devil's goal is. So I'll go over the 3 tips. Quit reading your Bible. Stop talking to God. And stop going to church. And on the opposite side, start using your Bible, start being the church, and start communicating with God, guys. Let's go to God in prayer. Dear Lord, I'm so thankful for these people in front of me, for what they mean to me and also what they mean to you and what they can do for you, Lord. We're just so thankful for the safety of both trips that we're taking this past weekend, and we're so thankful for the spiritual growth that we've made for your kingdom, Lord. Help us all take something from tonight, and not just to memorize it so that we can spit it out later to somebody else, but Lord, let us use it. Let us be able to take something that we've learned and use it to better your kingdom, Lord, and to evangelize to the kingdom that we're trying to grow, to evangelize those that are lost on campus or in our close friend circle or even in our family, Lord. Help us to have the strength and the courage to talk to those people, God. I'm just so thankful for everything you do for us, and especially the gift of your Son. It's in his name we pray. Amen.
Okay, let's stand for this one song. And let's sing after. Let's stand for this one. Nice click.
Okay. Everybody ready? One thing we ask of you, one thing that we desire, that as we worship you, Lord, come and change our lives. Arise, 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 arise. Take your place, be enthroned on our praise. Arise, King of Kings, Holy God, as we sing. Arise, 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 arise.
Change our lives. Jesus, arise.
Arise, King of Kings, Holy God, as we sing. Arise, take your place, be enthroned on our praise. Arise, arise, arise. Okay, we're going to go to the next song, and we're going to work on that Thursday, okay? The circle song is going to be Glorify Thy Name. So circle up. Yeah, I thought we could handle it.
I thought we could handle it. I was wrong. Sorry, my bad.
Somebody threw us off.
Hey. All right. Is everybody ready? Father, we love you. We worship and adore you. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Jesus, we love you. We worship and adore you. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Spirit, we love you. We worship and adore you. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Again, one more time. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name. Glorify thy name in all the earth. Shelton, will you pray for us, please?
Heavenly Father, thank you again for another day. A beautiful day that broke through the cold of winter. Thank you for this warm day that reminds us of your will, your love. God, we ask that you be with us throughout the remainder of this week. That as we go throughout this week, that we always show you to others, that we always reflect Christ, that we always reflect your love to others, that we always show those around us, strangers, friends, family, what it means to be a Christian. God, we ask that you be with those that aren't here tonight, whether it's for homework, whether it's for being sick or selfish reasons. God, we ask that you please be with each and every one of them. Be with us so that we can bless them in some way in their life. God, we ask that you be with us this week. give us courage, that give us strength and knowledge to be able to go out into the world and tell others about you. God, I'm thankful that you brought everyone back from their trips this week. And that everybody was able to learn and able to take away from their trip. God, can you continue to lead, guide, and direct us in your son's name we pray. Amen.
5 minutes, and then the DR mission group needs to meet in the dining hall.
Yes.